Hello and welcome to the 2016 STA Ridley Windows and Doors Cricket Club Open. I am your host, Josh McLean. Very much looking forward to bringing you some of the best squash players from around the world. We have 8 teams getting ready to do battle here in this 3-day event from the Toronto Cricket, Skating and Curling Club as we get set to head down to show court number 1 for game number 1. We'll start with the quarterfinals. There are 8 teams at the beginning of this event. Already we see on court it's Johnny Smith and Gregory Park, and they will take on Freddie Hernandez and Chris Fernandez. So match number 1 here in the quarters underway. Great to see these boys coming all the way from the US. Johnny Smith lives in New York. Park from Ocean City in New Jersey. Freddie Hernandez and Chris Fernandez, both of them from the Big Apple, New York. So Park and Smith in blue, Fernandez and Hernandez in red. Early scores from court level, 5-1. Currently in favour of Smith and Park. Make that 5-2. That one just missed the mark. That was Hernandez. It's Hernandez on the right. Fernandez will play the left wall. And we will have another serve there from Smith. He is English, Smith, I believe, even though he does reside in the US. Oh, wonderful shot. Park with a bit of class, and he finds the front right. And a good opportunity now for the boys in blue. They're serving from the right. So racing out to an 8-2 lead here. This has been quite a show of serving from Smith. He's won 5 points on the trot. Great shot down the wall by Smith. Again, too good. And Park puts that one away comfortably. He had the back left court wide open and said thank you very much. What a start from the boys in blue here. That one just finds the tin. Smith was going for the low post off the left wall. And now an opportunity for Hernandez to serve. Gee, don't they need ball in hand at the moment. It's been a while since they've had a serve. Now an opportunity to string some points together. That ball out of play. We must say, Smith and Park looking in seriously great touch at the moment, and they're powering through this first game. Always such an important game to take the first one. Get off to a great start. Build some momentum. Makes it just a little bit harder for the opponents to climb the hill and get back in the match. Now Park serving from the right. That ball called down by the ref. And that's it. Game number 1 is over. Park and Smith flying out to an early lead. They lead it 1 game to love. Welcome back. You're watching the 2016 Ridley Windows and Doors SDA Cricket Club Open, brought to you live from the Toronto Cricket Club, Toronto Cricket Skating and Curling Club in Toronto, Ontario. 15-4. A great start for Smith and Park. They took the first game. Now second game underway. Oh, into the neck in the front left. Hernandez with some brilliance. He will now serve from the right. So 2 love. Fernandez, a good start here to game number 2. Gee, they need a few quick points at the start of this game. They don't want to get blown away in the early stages of game number 2, having already dropped the first. But they've started game 2 in the best possible fashion here. Oh, a nice touch from Park, but Fernandez just got the racket underneath it. Went for the post. I think he might have just missed it. In fact, in the end, he made it. It was so fast, I could barely even follow the ball. Another point sees them lead 3 love. Both left wall players opting to use the right wall. In the end, it was Park who came out on top. In fact, it was Smith. Park will serve from the right. Again, some class. It was Park on that occasion. Gee, he looks in good form, doesn't he? communication there from Smith and Park. In the end, another easy point goes to the boys in blue. Oh, super stuff from Smith. Gee, that was quality. That one will go out of play. It just cleared the glass and into the crowd. An important point for Hernandez and Fernandez. It looks as though we have a broken ball. Not surprising how hard these boys hit these balls. Always see the odd broken ball or two in a doubles match. The referee just checking. He says, nope, it's fine, boys. Get on with it. In fact, it looks as though the ump has just thrown a new ball in. We just have to warm that up. We'll be back soon on the 2016 Ridley's Windows and Doors SDA Cricket Club Open. Ridley Windows and Doors SDA Cricket Club Open, brought to you live from the Toronto Cricket Skating and Curling Club here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We are in game number 2 in the big match between Johnny Smith and Gregory Park. Those are taking on Chris Fernandez and Freddie Hernandez as we welcome Peter Kelly to the broadcast. Hello, Peter. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
That's great. No worries. You're playing a little later on this evening. How much notice do you take of the earlier matches before you play?
Well, one part is you're often required to referee, so you do take some notice if you're the last match on, which we are. We're on at 8 o'clock. So definitely this match is something we'd look at. You try not to think ahead, though. I think you really try to focus on the match you're going to play, the guys you're going to play. Thinking ahead till tomorrow can make you lose today.
Yeah, no doubt, and looking forward to that match later on tonight with your partner Dylan Patterson taking on Thomas Brinkman and Andre Vargas. Now Brinkman, he's a man that a lot of people looking forward to seeing play. He's a local boy, but few fans around this part of the world.
Yeah, no, and both Thomas and Andres know them both well. Andres and I play at the same club in New York. We're good friends. Both those guys are great people, great players, great representatives of the tour. So really looking forward to a good match. I'd like to say that the last time I played each of them in a serious competition, they beat me. So I'm looking for a little bit of revenge tonight.
All right, maybe tonight is the night. So Smith and Park in control of this match in the early stages. They took game one 15-4. Pretty important to take the first game in any match, I would have thought, Peter.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. And I think what you're seeing here a little bit is you're seeing the team in blue is extremely experienced. And Chris and Freddie are some of the newer players to the tour. It's great to have them on the tour. Both great guys, great squash players. But what you're seeing a little bit here is experience over inexperience. One thing that to look for is with inexperienced players is they tend not to hit the ball, try to move the players as deep as often as the experienced players will. So what I think, one thing I've observed just from watching the first two games is Freddie and Chris aren't doing a good enough job of putting Johnny and Greg behind them. And that's really important. And so when they go short, oftentimes both Johnny and Greg are in position to retrieve. So, I'm hoping that they can, it's hard to realize that in between games, but if they do, hopefully they can do that and come out for a little bit more competitive third game.
Absolutely. Looks as though game number 2 is over. So this first match, Park and Smith, Fernandez and Hernandez. The first one on show court number 1. Straight after, at 6 p.m. this evening, that's Eastern time, where we'll see Jordan Greenberg and Carl Baglio taking on the local favourites and what many people predict will be the tournament favourites, Scott Arnold and Robert Clark. What can you tell us about that matchup, Peter?
It's going to be a good match. Carl is also a local Toronto guy, but works in New York. He and Jordan both work at the University Club in New York, along with Damian Mudge. That's actually where I play as well. Both strong players. Going to be running into a very tough team in Robin and Scott. Robin and Scott have really come up the last few years as one of the emerging teams on the tour, and you've seen them do really well. I believe they just won the Canadian Nationals a couple weeks ago. So congrats to them for that. But I expect a good match. Jordan and Carl, both very experienced players, been on the tour for a number of years, both strong players. So I think we'll see a good match.
No doubt. Looking forward to that one. Yeah, Scott Arnold and Robin Clark. They've only been playing together for a short while, but they've done pretty well in that short time. We'll be back very soon on the Ridley Windows and Doors SDA Cricket Club Open. right, game number 3 underway. Park and Smith off to the ideal start. That one just missed the mark.
Right side. 2-1.
Looked like Fernandez on that occasion went for the big overhead smash, just missed it. Maybe going for a bit too much power, Peter.
Yeah, you know, one thing when you get down 2-love and you've got a team that in Greg and Johnny that's playing really well, it can get a little bit frustrating trying to figure out what to do. So I think you're seeing a little bit of that play out. Though what I would say is I think Chris and Freddie are playing pretty well. They are playing one of the top teams on the SDA, and a team that has been that way for several years.
I'm sure they would really enjoy getting off court as quick as possible ahead of what we expect to be some pretty tight contests over the next 2 days in the finals.
Absolutely. I think, you know, as you hear kind of in any sport, earlier rounds you try to get off as quickly as you can. I think you're certainly seeing Johnny and Greg try to do that here. Oh, wow, great shot.
So 4-3 here in game number 3.
Yeah, good start for Chris and Freddie here, so hopefully they can keep this up.
Again, some nice touch, but on that occasion, Park was quickly over. This point continues. You just feel that they've gone up a notch here, the boys in red. The match on the line. They have to pull out something special now to get back in the match.
Yeah, absolutely. They've certainly picked up their intensity. You can tell it by the body language. And in some sense, that's the way they should play. They really don't have anything to lose. They should, you know, just really do everything they can. Try different things if what they're doing isn't working, and try to open up the court and kind of use their strengths.
Well, you never know. Squash is a funny game, as they say. You know, there's been plenty of teams over the years that have come back from 2 games to love and won. So they shouldn't give up belief just yet, although with shots like that, you just think it'll be real hard.
Yeah, you know, Johnny is, you know, he's not the biggest guy on tour, but he certainly cracks the ball really hard. And his partner, Greg, is also another very solid hitter. You know, that could be another thing that we're seeing play out on the court. It's not every day you get to play against guys that hit this hard in practice, and when you get onto the court with them, it really is a little bit different, the pace of the ball that they're sending at you.
Pace again on that occasion. Straight down the middle from Smith, and it was too hot for Hernandez to handle. I think it might have been Fernandez.
Yeah, I think that's Chris. It's definitely one of the more frustrating things is having a ball come at you that's just too fast for, you know, just not where you're used to. I've been there many a time, and you know, but it's something that you eventually do adjust to if you see it enough.
It was interesting having a chat at the Cambridge Club, the last SDA Pro Tour event that we did, and having a chat to a few of the players, particularly Manek Matur, who hits the ball incredibly hard. A couple of the boys were saying it's often coming off the racket at around 140, 150 mile an hour. That was their guess. What do you think? Do you think that's pretty close?
I think it's it probably depends a little bit on the court and how hot it is, but yeah, it's coming off real quick.
Especially Manek. Wow, I wouldn't want to get in the way of one of his balls. He hits them real hard.
You know, he does hit the ball, and a lot of it you can tell how hard someone is hitting by the sound. When people really crack it, there are a couple guys that really can crack it. It just makes a little bit different sound than the rest of us normal humans make when we hit it, even if we're trying our hardest.
Absolutely. And
yes, you definitely do not want to get in the way of any of their shots. I had the pleasure of playing against Monik in a tournament in early February. Luckily I wasn't hit by the ball, just the racket, but my arm was bruised for a couple weeks. But he did apologize. Very nice guy.
He's a lovely guy, isn't he? Yeah, he joined us on commentary actually, and fabulous fella. Good player too. So 8-4. Here's the score. Park and Smith cruising at this stage. You would expect them into the next round, maybe a semi-final spot. If they do go through, they'll take on the winner of Freddie Reed, Will Mariani, and Michael Pernak and Willie Hosey.
Yeah, I expect that one to be a key match. Looking forward to watching that one. You've got the team of Hosey and Pernak, which historically has been one of the most successful teams on the SDA Tour, reuniting and playing in their home city against a team also from the area. So a lot of local interest. It's really a battle of the young Toronto guys versus the elder statesmen of the Toronto doubles game. So, but either way, will be a great match, I hope.
Absolutely, and it's always fun when Will Mariani takes to the court. He's a colourful character. He loves to get excited and throw himself around. Doesn't mind an argument with the ref too, the umpire.
Well, there's always a little bit of fun, and Will likes to have that. He's another example of a really great guy, great player on the tour. And hopefully, I think a couple of personalities on that court, so hopefully it'll be a really fun match from that perspective too.
No doubt, no doubt. So 6-10. Fernandez.
Yeah, Chris and Freddie doing a bit better this game.
Yeah.
They're doing a bit better, really just raising the intensity, as we said before. I think they've cut down the errors a bit, or at least unenforced errors. Sometimes you can't help it when the ball is coming at you 150 miles an hour. But doing a little bit better this game, hanging in there with what is a great team.
Must be tough for these guys to fly in and then get knocked out in their first match.
It is, but part of this part of the tour is the learning experience, right? You got to put in the man hours to get the experience and get that allows you to build the skills you need to keep competing and compete well. So so that it's a tough go, but listen, the club is so far the club has been such a great host that I know these guys will be showing a really good time, and we really thank the club for that and for hosting the tournament in general.
Well, I'll tell you what, Peter, if it was me, if I was knocked out early, I'd be going straight to the bar for the next couple of days. What do you reckon?
I think we have a lot of responsible, really good-natured young folks on the tour.
Good response.
So there's gonna be a lot of camaraderie, I assume, afterwards, potentially at the bar.
Sounds good, mate.
Right side, 14-7, match ball. In the match, Michael Smith, you're live.
That's it.
15-4, 15-7.
That's it, folks. Match over. Park and Smith through to the next round. No surprises there, Peter?
No, it wasn't. I look for Chris and Freddie to really build on this experience and come out stronger their next match.
No doubt they will. I'm sure they'll take a lot of experience and strength from that particular match. But the boys are through, and we will look forward to your company very soon for the next quarterfinal.